Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, click the bell icon for notifications to know when I go live. Sorry, I think I'm being a little loud right now. Typically 5 to 6 every day, but it can vary depending upon my schedule. Also, you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on YouTube, you can find me on TradingView, and even Instagram. One word. Crypto Bull God. So I hope everyone is having a nice day today. The work week is shortened up for those who had Memorial Day off. Cheers. This is essentially water. It's a Michelob Ultra. It's essentially water. Cheers, everybody. Having a really good day today. Very productive day, and having a 4-day work week always helps. I wish, it'd be nice if once a month, companies instituted 3-day weekends on top of vacation. That would be quite nice indeed. There is some bullish action coming into the market today. Some of these charts are starting to pick up momentum. In particular, Flux today was having a really nice day. We're going to take a look at Flux for all those who are interested in that project. Flux has been one that I've covered on this channel and on Twitter for quite some time. And it seems like it is in the midst of potentially breaking up towards some key areas of resistance, potentially in the next coming couple weeks here. A lot of volume picking up on that one. We're going to cover a lot of charts here. I have all of them up on the screen here. It looks like I don't have ADA and Solana up here, so we'll get those up. And then we'll have some time for your questions. So we're going to really focus on altcoins. We'll also take a look at some unique charts that I custom created, and we can kind of talk about what those charts are telling us as well. So with that being said, let's get into it, as I always say. Bitcoin, nothing really new to report here. This is the 12-hour. We really like to focus on the 12-hour here on this channel. Don't want to beat a dead horse, as I always say. But, I went into length yesterday kind of talking about what we're looking at here on the Bitcoin chart. So if you missed that, go back to yesterday's live stream and catch the top of DT is in the house. Why, good morning, sir. I'm having a beer and you're having coffee. Cheers, my friend. Good to see you on here. Life is good. I'm going to give that. It's all perspective, man. It's all perspective. Everybody has shit in their life. What's the use complaining, though? You got to have a positive outlook on life. Too many things in life to be thankful and blessed with in your life. So I totally agree. Yeah, not too much new to report here. Right now, price is kind of hanging out at this upward resistance. The more that price maintains an area up in this region above the 50 simple moving average, it's going to cause this moving average, which is based on the more recent 50 candlesticks, to begin to flatten and curl up, which is what we don't. We don't want this thing to start to decline and get a death cross on the 12-hour, which is not what I'm expecting. But so long, as price maintains its area right up in this $27,000, $28,000 area, you're going to see that death cross avoided. I don't see anything detrimental coming in here. I know there's been a lot of fear mongers for the past several months, calling for much lower prices. You've seen the head and shoulders patterns out there. There are still 10,000 Bitcoin people out there, okay? This is what it means to truly be in a disbelief rally. I mean, when I look at this chart, all I see are higher highs and higher lows. I mean, this is literally a rounding bottom, and we're entering a parabola, and we will be in a parabola before we know it. And people will be FOMOing in at $50,000 plus, in my opinion. One of the interesting things to see what will pan out, I wanted to tweet about this earlier, but I lost track of it, and I'll have to think about maybe doing this later at some point today or at some point this week. But it'll be really interesting to see all the people who are in this 4-year cycle camp and are calling, they've scripted Bitcoin. I don't know how much you're paying attention, but for all and a lot of maximalists too, but it's not just maximalists, a lot of 4-year cycle people out there, they're telling a lot of these people are not TA people, okay? They're telling you exactly what's going to happen this year, exactly what's going to happen up to the halving, exactly what's going to happen after the halving. They have it all scripted out. And unless you literally have your head buried in the sand, you should recognize that if the majority of people have a scripted play in terms of what's going to happen with price, more than likely, it's not going to fucking happen. So it'll be really interesting to see if the 4-year cycle people really are going to put their money where their mouth is. And once we get up to the 0.618 fib retracement on Bitcoin, which is around, I'll have to draw it out, somewhere around, I think, 48,000, 46,000. But in that area, once we get up to that 46 or 48,000, it'll be interesting to see if they sell. Because according to a lot of charts that I see out there, a lot of people that feel convicted on this idea, we're just going to go up to that 46, 48. We're going to reject. We're going to come down maybe into the 30s, I believe, or maybe even 20s. We're going to consolidate for a long time, and then we're going to continue up. It's all scripted, ladies and gentlemen. This is how crypto operates. Every 4 years, we can expect the same thing every 4 years. Come on. So it'll be really interesting. It'll be really interesting to see what happens when we get up to that $46,000, $48,000 level. Now, I want to start getting into some altcoins here. So this is Synapse. I'm going to offer you a few different views on this. This is the falling wedge. Now, what I see here, this is a 2-day chart, Heikin-Ashi. I see the momentum indicators picking up down here, the price indicators. And you can see right now we're pressed up against resistance here. This new candlestick's going to open on Wednesday. I had tweeted out earlier today that I think Synapse will be at $1 within a blink of an eye. I think this thing, when it moves and it breaks out, it's going to break out fast. Again, never financial advice on this channel. I'm just telling you what I see in the charts. If I see something bearish, I'm going to tell you. If I see something bullish, I'm going to tell you. This is a bullish falling wedge. The other thing that I would offer you, this is an inverse head and shoulders. This is an inverse head and shoulders. An inverse head and shoulders is a bullish pattern. Okay, it is a bullish pattern. So if you want to draw, I believe the way you draw the technical target is from the bottom of the head to the top of this trend line between the shoulders and the head here. And you put it to the top of the pattern, and that gives us an initial breakout of $8. Okay, so again, I'm looking at this one as a very bullish setup on Synapse Protocol, something to keep in mind. Now, another chart setup that we want to take a look at is Flux. Now, Flux, I'm actually going to relate Flux and Synapse. So Flux has been in this long period of consolidation, this triangular formation. The other thing I would offer you is you could argue this is actually a bull pennant. And now we've coiled up in a massive, bull pole in a massive pennant here. Regardless, whether that's your view or not your view, the bottom line is the main thing that I am focused on is the fact that we have increasing price indicators and consolidation going sideways in here. We have these lower highs and these higher lows. This thing is coiling up, and we saw a big spike in volume today. Okay, we saw a big spike in volume, and we were up as much as over 30% today. Okay, now you never want to buy into euphoria. You never want to buy into the uptrend. You never want to buy in to a green candle like this, right? I'm going to be careful with my words here, because we all make, I was going to say the dumbest thing you can do, we all make dumb mistakes, okay, myself included, absolutely. But I'll change that and say the most inexperienced thing you could do is buying up here at 66, 67 cents, 65 cents. That's the most inexperienced thing you can do. What you need to do if you miss this, I mean, this was an opportune time to buy in more here. If you go back to my tweets, you will find that with my... Was it my bonus that I got that I scaled into more Flux? I lost track. But I did tweet out recently when we were in this bottom area here around 50 cents, 49, 50 cents. I did essentially double my position. So I hold what I would consider a material amount of Flux at this point. And I'm considering purchasing even more once we get a retrace. But that's really what you want to wait for right now. So the idea is, as this thing... has had a lot of volume come in. We've spiked up. We have these downward areas of resistance. You want to wait for this thing to come down. Looks like 52 cents. Maybe we come down to 52 cents. Looks like an area of consolidation. Certainly, it's not surprising. You can see look at this price confluence here. Not surprising one bit. You see how when we were above this line right here, see how we were above it? We stayed above it. Then we fell below it. Look, we're having problems getting above this line at 59 cents. If you can start to accumulate more of this or establish a position, I would look for something definitively under 59 cents. I would not be buying this at, wait for a pullback here. And we'll get into this again with artificial liquid intelligence, Alethea AI, ticker symbol ALI. They're having a big move. You don't buy into that large move. You wait for a pullback and consolidation, okay? There are times where you have to express humility and understand that you're not going to catch everything before it runs, okay? Don't chase it. Do not chase it. Do not chase it. Wait for it to come back to you, okay? And this is where technical analysis comes in handy because you can identify logical areas, logical price zones. So price areas under 59 cents where I would be looking to scale back in. I think a great area if we were able to pull back somewhere around here. Somewhere in between, it looks like 52, maybe even 53 cents, somewhere around 52, 53 cents. If we get a, stuttered there. I don't stutter much. I don't know what that was. 52 to, I'm very hyper today, full of a lot of energy, and I got up early too. 52 to 53 cents is what I would watch for. Now, this is an interesting chart. This is a custom created chart that I made. You can do the same thing in TradingView. We've looked at a lot of different altcoin pairings before on this channel, if you're subscribed here. Now, typically what a lot of chartists will do is they will compare main BTC pairings, relativity values. You'll look at a ETH BTC chart, right? We've looked at that. You might look at an XRP BTC chart. All you're doing is you're taking the ratio of those two values, and you can do that for any crypto asset to see how, in terms of USD appreciation value, how one altcoin is doing relative to another. Is one weaker or stronger, right? So this is Flux divided by Synapse USD. So the degree to which this chart is moving up expresses that either one of two things, just keeping it stupid simple. Either Flux USD is appreciating at a greater value than Synapse, or Flux is decreasing or depreciating at a lesser extent than Synapse. Maybe Flux is going down 1% and Synapse is going down 3%, right? That's what it's expressing. And what I see right now is a general uptrend for Flux versus Synapse, okay? Looks like there's a clear area of resistance I would draw here, right around here. But for the moment, what this is telling me, if I looked at this chart, a lot of chippy-choppy sideways action. But the main thing I would focus on is there's a general uptrend here. And what this is saying is over time, Flux is building the case that it could potentially have a breakout and appreciate at a greater value than Synapse. This is a chart I'm going to keep an eye on. I have a position in both of these crypto assets and something that I'm going to plan to keep an eye on. I've looked at the same thing. A great example on this channel we've looked at in times past is the 1 HBAR chart. I love both. The Holy Crypto Trinity. Come on, HBAR 1 and Mana, right? I love all three projects, but that 1 HBAR chart is telling me something, and I've hinted to it a lot. We're going to revisit, we might end up revisiting it later next month, depending how price action picks up in June. But I do this for a lot of altcoins, and I think it could benefit you and your investment approach to do the same. We're going to take a look at some of these, or two of these, metaverse plays right now. Did establish a position in the sandbox. Sandbox right now, you can see it's sort of in a falling wedge. This is very similar to Mana. Mana and the sandbox, they have a very similar setup. You can see on this thing, we had an all-time high all the way up here past $8. Guys, we're sitting at less than 10% of that value. We're sitting right now at 50. We have 56 cents or where are we at? Oh, 54 cents. We're at 54 cents right now, okay? So we're at about 6-7% of the all-time high. And if you look at the basic structure of this chart, very, very bullish. Clear impulse wave moves up, right? This target range that I provided up here is pretty old. I'll have to revisit that and still see if it's accurate. But yeah, just, considering my expectations for Mana and using that as a guesstimation for what we could assume for Sandbox, yeah, I think somewhere up in the $15 to $20 range is very reasonable for a blow-off top, and we're sitting at 54 cents, okay? So that's a 40x, between a 30 to 40x from where we're at, 30, 35x from where we're at. technically, I guess at 28, this is the actuary of me, 28 to 35x off the top of my head here. So this is a great setup. This is on the 3-day. Let's look at the weekly here. What can we see on the weekly? Okay, MACD is starting to pick up. Stochastic RSI cross above 20 here. Very bullish, and the RSI has plenty of room to run. We're only at 43. We're a little oversold? No. We're a little oversold, excuse me. We're a little oversold on the RSI, but this stochastic RSI is starting to pick up, and the MACD is picking up. There's also this Hong Kong narrative. I'm sure some of you have been reading about that, and I guess the sandbox, I really don't know too much about it, but I guess the sandbox is a major play for the Hong Kong market, so we'll have to see if some FOMO comes in the coming weeks surrounding that. Of course, that would uplift all the metaverse plays, not just the sandbox. Let's talk about what's going on here. What is this? Well, this is the SAND USD divided by MANA USD. So this is looking at the rate of appreciation of Sandbox relative to MANA. And as bullish as I am, okay, again, I'm giving you unbiased content on this channel. I'm not giving you my emotional view or a biased view because I want something to happen. I look at this and I say, you know what? As bullish as I am on MANA, right now, there's a good case to be made that the Sandbox could outpace the appreciation rate for MANA. You can see, I don't need to go through specifics here, but you can see in general we've had an uptrend, okay? And now we've just gotten this triangular formation here of consolidation, right? So it'll be interesting to see if this general uptrend that we've seen, you see the general uptrend, and now we've had consolidation, will it continue? You know, there is a case to be made here that the Sandbox could outpace MANA, something to keep an eye on. MANA, okay, a couple things I wanted to point to on this chart. We're going to make a comparison to this for another chart, but you can see, you know, we just looked at the Sandbox. Is this not a similar view as this, okay? So a lot of these projects, and again, we've highlighted this on this channel, we've looked at 1 and H-bar, and a lot of the price action that's going on in 1 and H-bar, it's very similar. It's very similar. Well, the price action that we have on 2 of these metaverse plays in Sandbox and Decentraland MANA, very similar in nature. MANA is one that I hold in my personal portfolio, and I also hold in my retirement account. This is, again, from a market structure perspective, you can see this. It's just beautiful symmetry in this chart. And right now, we had this massive breakout. We're sort of in a falling wedge / bull pennant, just waiting for the market to pick back up and entertain these higher levels towards 84 cents and above. So why on this chart did I highlight this? Well, if we were to apologize for the sniffles, if we were to go back in time, okay, if we were to go back in time to 2018 / 2019, and it looks like even the early part of 2020, you can see that on this chart, now this is a 5-day chart, okay, MANA, since inception, it had a skyrocket in price, came out at sort of the wrong time because the market had topped in 2018. And we just had all this consolidation down. This is consolidation, by the way. It's consolidation, it's correction, it's a falling wedge as well. From the high point up here, when after we had our initial sort of run here, okay, the highest price we reached all the way to the correction, you can see we had a 95% correction. Now, evaluate this market structure, okay? Keep this market structure in mind. Let's go to our next chart. This is Reef. Now, not exactly the same, but very, very similar. Look at this. After inception, the highest price point that we reached to the bottom, a 96.5% correction. And we're in this massive falling wedge, okay? And there's a falling wedge within a falling wedge. This is actually a falling wedge within a falling wedge. What do I mean by that? This is actually this here, okay? This is actually another falling wedge, okay? You could draw this a couple different ways. But the point is, a lot of these tokens at inception go through very similar corrections, okay? And it's important to know what you're invested in, and it's important to remain patient. And one of the other things that I pointed out in this chart, and the yellow box just indicates my initial target. The other thing that I indicated on this chart is I would not neglect, I would not ignore bullish divergence on a high time frame. This is a weekly chart. We have had bullish divergence really since, I mean, you could technically say this started all the way back here, really. So your bullish we've had bullish divergence for a year. Okay? This chart is in a falling wedge and it's had bullish divergence for a year. And I'm not telling you this is going to pull a mana, but I just showed you another chart, and I don't know if there was bullish divergence here. No, there wasn't even bullish divergence here. We just had a massive breakout. You can see obviously what happened. But this chart, I'm just telling you, this is not my emotional view. I'm pointing to the chart and giving you some factual data. It doesn't need to play out, but it has a high probability of playing out in some sort of beneficial way, okay, to the upside. This is bullish divergence on the weekly that's been here for a year. At some point, more than likely, no certainties, there's no certainties in charting, more than likely we're going to see a significant bounce. Keep in mind, low liquidity, low market cap, doesn't take a lot of capital to move this thing, okay? Just keep it in mind. We will come back and we'll see how this plays out over the course of this year. The graph. So the thing, man, I got to stop eating peanuts before the live stream. I keep getting these little speckles of peanuts stuck in my teeth right before the live stream. Crunching on some Planta's peanuts. You can see this is my crypto AI watch list, okay? Sound like Herb from Northeast Philly on 94 WIP, okay? Okay. Anyway, this is the watch list on crypto AI, and as you can see, almost everything is green. We're going to get to Alethea AI because I am monumentally bullish on that given what the chart is showing. But let's get off the watch list and look what's going on here. Now, I've spoken to the graph many times on this channel. I've indicated that I have a significant holding in my retirement account. Don't have any in my personal account at the moment. But you can see a couple things are present here. There is a pole. We can draw this a couple different ways. There is a pennant. I want you to be able to see this. And again, you can draw the pennant a couple different ways. You have to understand, when we see a monumental rise in price like this, and you can see it the top coincides with the volume, look at the volume drifting off. Ladies and gentlemen, this is consolidation, right? Believe it or not, even though there hasn't been a lot of consolidation here, that really does weed emotional people out. People that don't know what they're doing, people that are ill-informed, uneducated, and inexperienced get weeded out in this price action. Okay? When we see a surge in price and we start to break this massive descending line, I believe very quickly you're staring at the graph right now at 13 cents. We're up at, we're up 4.4% today. I think very swiftly, let's move the box over here. I think very swiftly we're going to be between 35 and 56 cents. That is going to happen very quickly. And you can also see on the 3-day, the MACD is starting to curl up. The RSI, let's get the stochastic RSI on here. I don't know why I don't have it on here. Thank you for everyone new tuning in. Appreciate the support. You guys are a lot better about the thumbs up. It really does help the channel. I hate repeating myself and asking for thumbs up, but I know I've joined live streams before and I can be bad about it in full transparency, and I try to remember to do it when I'm tuning into live streams that I appreciate giving a thumbs up. So I appreciate it. Yeah, you can see the stochastic RSI. What's really nice to see, now this is a 3-day chart, you can see that we're above the 20 trigger line, right? Blue is well above orange. It's above 20. That's good to see. What that's telling us is momentum is picking up, right? Where you're really going to want to watch for, when you're really going to start to get excited, when you see the graph getting up to this area here, look for when the graph is up towards like 17 cents, that's the time to really start to take notice about what's going on the chart. The reason I say that is because 17 cents is a major area of resistance, but we're also starting to go above this major descending resistance that has been here since inception of 2021, okay? So the next time you see the graph, okay, keep an eye on this. The next time you see the graph at 17 cents, it's time to start getting cautiously excited because it means we're getting above this descending resistance. And again, as we've taken a look at on many charts, and we're going to take a look at on ALI, Alethea AI, typically what likes to happen is you don't want to buy as we're coming up here, right? What does the chart commonly like to do? One of the most healthy things is, hey, let's come back here. This was resistance. Now, what I want to do is, because I'm really bullish and I want to continue moving up, I want to show everybody that I'm bullish by coming back down to the downward resistance, showing that it's support. I'm no longer weak. I'm no longer coming down into this price area, okay? I'm going to show you I'm strong by back testing this area and not going below it on a candle body close, and I'm going to springboard off of that and go higher. That's psychologically what's going on in the chart, and that's when you'd want to be a buyer if you miss the move, when we come down and back test this downtrendward line of resistance. Let's cover two more charts. I'll get to your questions. I see a few people here. Injective protocol. So this one, let me comment on this one. This is on a 12-hour. We're going to get a lot more granular of a view here, an idea about what's going on by doing this. So I revised this downward area of resistance from here to here, or roughly here, reflecting the fact that a touch, now we have a touch here and a confirmation of a break. Now we did enter the yellow buy zone that I had indicated in my injective protocol video. Did I have that in the video? Well, I at least had tweeted this out. But regardless, it really didn't go as low as I would have wanted it to see go. This is one that did enter the golden buy zone, but is expressing a lot of strength. We're starting to break out against downward resistance. Now, a couple thoughts here. First off, it's entirely possible we could come all the way up to major resistance at around 850, or even double tap somewhere up at 930 and come all the way down here. It's very, very possible we could still come down into the $6 level. But I will say for the moment, this is expressing a lot of strength. I like that it's broken the downward resistance. This has the possibility, I'm not guaranteeing you anything, this has the possibility to not look back. This has the possibility to hold maybe $7.20 roughly as support, $7.20 roughly, looking at this chart where price confluence is. Maybe we hold $7.20 at this point, okay? Maybe prices come down only to here and we continue going higher. I've looked at enough charts in this market and have spent enough years in this market and fine-tuned my TA skills. And this isn't an exaggeration. I mean, I've spent thousands. It's not an exaggeration. Literally, I am a nerd at heart, okay? I geek out and chart all the time. I have spent thousands of hours charting. And one of the things that has led to is becoming a more patient, unemotional, and more informed trader, investor, and person who can analyze a lot of these crypto projects and recognize things I have seen in the past. And one thing I would bring to your attention with this project is that while there are common sense areas that price could pull back to, sometimes when euphoria really starts to hit this market, and you know I've been hammering on AI projects, you know that I think AI is going to be a major euphoric area, sector, a sponge soaking up capital in this area in crypto, that a lot of times these things just continue to run. It is very possible we could just continue taking off from here. This thing could be at $15 before you know it. So you just have to ask yourself what levels you're comfortable buying at, recognizing the price confluence and the chart setup. I'm telling you it could be as strong as to maintain a level at 720. I'm also telling you there's also a probability we could dip all the way back down here, okay, at 650. So you have to make a decision if you want to accumulate more or establish a position based on your own risk tolerance level. One more chart real quick to cover. Alethea AI. I've been covering this massive falling wedge for quite some time. The reason this line is through this candle body, just ignore that, is because I believe it was either a different time frame or I was looking at the Heiken Ashi candles. Regardless, we are seeing on a 3-day chart here a massive break. And look at what this is like textbook. I mean, this is literally textbook. What is textbook about this? Two things. One, volume precedes price. Look at the pickup in volume. You see these green bars here? They continue to increase as we break out. That is exactly what you want to see, okay? The other thing is, as we broke the, you can see it on a different time frame here. Let me go to a 2-day. Okay, there we go. As we broke the falling wedge slash bull pennant, because this is a bull pennant as well, as we broke, we back tested. We just spoke about this on the graph, and we've confirmed the breakout by holding above the descending resistance. And now look at this volume coming in, wanting to break out to these higher 3-cent areas. Now, what I had just tweeted out right now, earlier today, I want to say about an hour and a half ago, this is not the time if you want to increase a position or establish a position in ALI, in my opinion, that you'd want to buy at the current levels. Typically, you have this much of a breakout like this. What should more than likely happen is you're going to get at least a day or two. So you're at least in the short term, and especially with a volatile asset, you'll get price wicks, get a little bit of consolidation in this area before we start to break out. Now, the way you could smartly play this, and let's take a look at specific price areas, and I'll try and help you out here. We'll go to a more granular time frame. If you want to establish a position, okay, the best bet that you can make, okay, and I use Gemini. The exchange I use is Gemini. You can put in what are called buy limit orders. So what you can do is you can say, hey, I want to buy X amount of Alethea AI. I want to buy ALI, but I only want to buy it if it gets to this price, okay? If it gets to 2.3 cents, I'm in for this amount. But you're not just market buying. Market buying is whatever the price is at. That's what I would not suggest doing. What I would suggest doing is identifying key areas that we could see a volatility wick to. And let's establish those right now. So I'll try and help you out as well as help myself out because it's very mutual. I may increase my position. I hold a decent amount of this, so I don't know that I'm going to increase my position. But if we were to see a wick down, I would say being more aggressive. Okay, being more aggressive, you're looking at around 2.448. Being a little bit more conservative, 2.345. And then being a lot more conservative, 2.24. Okay, now we could also obviously wick all the way down to this descending resistance again. We could come all the way, you know, if you wanted to be a lot more conservative, you know, you could place something all the way down here, really. You could place something down at flat 2 cents, just above 2 cents. And the way you also want to set up these buy limit orders, if you're using this as guidance, let's say you've established 2.3 cents as your entry. Do not put in a buy limit order at 2.3 cents. You don't want to use round figures. You want to use something that's going to front run the psychological levels, right? Because remember, your buy limit order will only get filled if it hits that exact dollar amount. Meaning, if you put in 2.3 cents, and it hits 2.31, you're fucked. You're not going to get your buy order, right? So let's say that based on this chart analysis, you're like, you know what? I'm just going to do one position. I'm going to put in a little bit here for Alethea AI, and I'm going to use this as my guidance. It looks like I almost used my first name. That's the first on the live stream. CBG is telling me that 2.345 cents is an area that I want to focus on. So let's get these off for the moment. So the way I would play this, if I was setting this order, I would say, all right, well, it looks like 2.345 is an area. So I'm just going to set this at 2.351 or 2.352, right? I'm going to front run this price by a little bit. So I'm going to move it up to like, you know, right about there, okay? So in case we don't wick to that exact level, I'm still getting in. So I hope that makes sense. Let's get to the comments here. A couple comments. Brian, welcome in, my friend. Kevin, can you look at UMA? Curious on your thoughts after the breakout and retrace. And TAO, if you have time. Absolutely, we can take a look at UMA. And TAO, if I have time. Glad to have you in, Kevin. What do you think that Bitcoin dominance will fall to over the rest of this year? Ooh, DT. Good question, my brother. Bitcoin dominance. My view is that we are going to get a massive, did I say massive? Massive alt season after Bitcoin has its blow off top. This is after the fact, once it has gone to the levels that I've spoken to, and it has that euphoric blow off top. The bottom line is my view is once altcoins start running and the capital is flooding into the altcoins, it's going to result in dominance dropping to new all-time lows. The last time I had charted it out, I looked at the low 20% level. I believe the all-time low on Bitcoin dominance is somewhere around, off the top of my head, 32 or 34%. So I think it's reasonable to assume something in the mid to low 20%. If my thesis is correct and we're going to have a massive altcoin season before the entire stock market tanks and crypto tanks as well. All that smart money is going to be coming in and doing what they do. So that is my view on Bitcoin dominance. Great question. You willing to look at an alt that's not on TradingView? Brian, I don't know how I do that because I chart everything on TradingView. So I'm not sure how I could help you there, brother. You'll have to explain in the comments. I don't really know what you mean by that. Josh, it's not let's go. It's let's fucking go. It's not that there's no cursing on this channel. Cursing is required on this channel. We keep shit real, all right? So we're going to take a look at UMA, but there were two other projects I had promised. I didn't promise anything, but I indicated on Twitter we would take a look at Cardano. I know my community well. I know people have asked about Cardano. This is a weekly. Let's see how we closed out the week. You can see, from a candle body close perspective, very bullish candlestick that came in here. We closed almost near the highs of the entire week. And really, the story is the same. We can look at the price indicators. We can look at the stochastic RSI, which has had a positive cross above 20. Great to see. RSI is still a little oversold, but at a healthy level around 48.5. MACD's getting very close to getting above zero. Again, it's all about breaking this 40.5 cent area, and then ultimately you can see this area right here that we topped at. We're just going to use a nice round 46 cents, right? So once we get above 40.5 cents, which is a major area, we're just chipping chopping in here. Let's break 46. Where do we look next, right? Well, we got these horizontal levels of resistance. Obviously, we can look at. The next intuitive thing that you want to do, though, is look left. Look left. What was our last lower high? When we look left, we can see our last lower high was debatably, actually, I would look right here, these price wicks, which coincide with 66 to 60 cents. So it's really about breaking 40.5 cents, 46 cents, and then getting up to this 60 to 66 cents. If you don't think that can happen quickly, you haven't been here for a while. I would suspect once the market picks up, that's going to happen in relatively short fashion. Solana. Let's see how Solana's doing. I haven't charted this one in a bit. People next door to me really like to slam their doors. They slam their doors. One moment. Making sure the door's locked. They slam their doors so much. I feel like somebody's coming into my apartment. I'm like, why the hell do you slam your door so much? I don't know. I keep to myself. Make peace and not war, right? Make love and not war. Solana. Oh man, this is an interesting setup right now. I love the setup on this right now. Okay, so let's focus on price first. We've had this downward resistance I've spoken to forever. Okay, the all-time high is all the way up here at 270 bucks. We are sitting at 20 bucks. We've talked about this $20 level forever, and we're right up against this downward resistance. Now, what I like about last week is we got our close back above 20. Very good to see, and we're sitting right now at 21.27. Look, we're pressed right up against here. This thing to me looks like it wants to punch up. It just wants to fucking punch right up to this $26 to $27 area. And if we look at the price indicators, the MACD's starting to pick up. The RSI has plenty of room to run to the upside. Look at the stochastic RSI. You see this trigger line right here at 20? We're above it. Look what just happened. We just got a positive cross, okay? So what that's telling us is positive momentum is picking up in the market. The last time we had a positive cross above 20, it was this move here. Again, stochastic RSI, we had this large move up here. A stochastic RSI doesn't guarantee us anything. It's just one indicator that we use in our arsenal to tell us kind of to try to complete the picture of what's going on. But again, I would not be surprised if by this week, if not next week, you're looking at Solana at $26+. So we'll have to come back and see if that's an accurate assessment. Now, I got a question on UMA. Let's take a look at UMA. Yeah, this one. So I'll be honest, I was a little disappointed in this one because we hit right up to this point. I mean, we literally hit right at this 0.236 fib retracement. I was targeting the 0.382 based on prior conversations that I've had with you guys that a lot of these altcoins have hit their 0.382 fib retracement level. Not liking the weakness that I see here. I really wanted to see some follow through, maybe maintain a price level of around 250 and continue moving up. It's moved back under these moving averages, which I don't like to see. This is on a 5-day. Let's go to a weekly. Let's up the time frame a little bit. All right, so not looking as bad on the weekly, but we want to see this MACD begin to get above 0 and some of this momentum to kick back up in UMA. RSI is continuing to increase, which is interesting. So one thing I'm noting is even though price here is at the same level it is here, the RSI is higher. How about the stochastic RSI? Okay, not surprising, we've cooled off. I want to see the stochastic RSI stay above 20. I don't want to see this thing go below 20. So we do have a negative cross here, but I want momentum to at least sustain itself such that we kind of flatten out, round out on the weekly here and maintain above 20. This thing's got to show me something. If we go back in the past, I mean, we could be seeing something similar to here, just getting back under these moving averages. But for right now, there's just a lot of weakness here. It underwhelmed what I thought was possible for this. I really wanted to see a larger move come in here. So something to keep an eye on. Okay, I'll keep a little bit of a closer eye on this. I did exit some of my trade position, and I still have some left in there. So I'll have to keep a little bit of a closer eye on this one. But I know it came down a lot lower than what I was hoping for. So, okay, I did ADA. H-bar, got a question on H-bar. Absolutely, we can take a look at H-bar. I have too many charts open. That is a common problem for me. I have too many charts open. Man, I've been staring at this computer too long. My eyes are starting to burn. I actually do have glasses. Sometimes I wear glasses. By the way, guys, if I don't get to a TA question, you're always welcome to come back during a future live stream and ask it. I'm not trying to make these live streams an hour in length. That's why I really don't want them to go too long. Especially when people watch them in syndication. I know that they appreciate it. I've gotten that much feedback from people. Nothing really new to report here. You can see we actually took a look at this earlier. I pointed to this downward area of resistance. Again, we're going to see something real similar on Harmony 1. There's no sense in charting Harmony 1 because you're going to see something similar. We're right beneath, I've joked a lot of these coins because of the consolidate. They're like stable coins. Harmony 1 is a stable coin at 1.5 cents. And H-bar is a stable coin at 5 cents, right? So we're under this main area of 5.9. Nothing really is going to get interesting on this or interest me until we push up past descending resistance and clear it and start getting above 9.3 cents. I mean, I need to see this thing double in value before I start to get a little bit more excited about it. Price indicators, you can see the RSI is at a little bit of an oversold level at 42. MACD starting to express some weakness. What I'd like to see on this chart, given that you look at this MACD, see how the histogram's picking up bearish here? What I'd like to see this week is a green candlestick, because what that'll do is negate some of this red, start to flatten out the MACD, and we can see it start to curl back up. So we'll have to see how the week completes here. What the hell else was I going to say on this chart? There was something else I was going to point to on this chart, and I completely lost my train of thought. I was talking to someone about that the other day, that it's always awesome when you go on a live stream and you just completely lose your train of thought. That is so awesome. But anyway, that's what I see on the chart for H-bar. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. I want to put on the stochastic RSI. Just see what we're looking at there. I don't know why I don't have this on here. Okay, so we're starting to get a positive cross, but we're well under 20. Yeah, this thing has not had a lot of momentum lately because we're under 20. See how the stochastic RSI, look on the bottom left there, it's at 6.37. We really need momentum to start picking up in this thing. Now, this is me just assessing the chart. Again, I am a investor in HBAR. I've been an investor for a while, so I very much believe in the project. I love the fundamentals, and I believe this thing is going to go much, much, much higher from where it's at with the rest of the market. But right now, it's just consolidating with the rest of the market. There's really nothing much to say. All right, Brian, I hear you. What else we got? I've tabled total market cap versus dominance on individual altcoins that I hold by watching individual core dominance versus, it gives a little, is this a, DT, let me try to read this again. I don't know that I'm following you, brother. I've tabled total market cap versus dominance on individual altcoins that I hold by watching individual. You know what? I'm horrible with DMs. Anybody here who's DMing, I'm horrible with DMs. DT, I promise you I promise you that I will look for your DM. Can you DM me what you're referring to? Share a chart with me, because honestly, I'm just not following what you're saying. So if I have something in front of me to look at, I can give you my opinion at that point, and either just give you that personally, just a little bit of DMs back and forth. If I think it's value added, I'll bring it on the channel, but I'm not quite sure I follow. All right, guys, I'm going to sign out. Kevin, we'll get to your, remember to pop in tomorrow, and I promise you that I will chart Teo, but I'm going to sign off. We're over 40-minute mark here. I appreciate everyone tuning in. If you appreciate the content, make sure to share this with at least one person. I am live every single weekday. And if you appreciate that, give me a thumbs up. Every single weekday, no matter what is going on, unless if there are extenuating circumstances and I am forced to not live stream, I am here every single weekday. And I hope to see everyone new and returning tomorrow. Until next time, which will be tomorrow, spread awareness and carry the education forward. Have